Okay, so you guys have been wanting this. You guys have been waiting for this. So it's Buggy time. It's time to turn on the clown show because the clown became a Yonko. Buggy the clown. Buggy the clown. Buggy D clown? I mean, I find Buggy to be one of the more interesting and surprisingly dynamic characters in One Piece, and his rise seems to hit the same. I mean, he's rising like the dawn. And never in my experience watching anime have I seen an adversarial character to the main character with as much luck and plot armor. And again, he has probably just as much as the main character. Buggy is the luckiest character in One Piece. He gotta be a D, right? So to go from apprentice to the Pirate King, to Pirate Captain, to Warlord, to Yonko, have we ever seen such an ascension? Not even Luffy was an apprentice. I mean, well, I guess Shanks did. Either way, if we think about his origin, a child was allowed to be an apprentice on the crew of the Pirate King. What are the odds? Well, 1 in 2. But regardless, if we've learned something about pirate crews, the captains of the past have raised the monsters of today. But we'll get to that later. For now, let's talk about Recurrence. So throughout One Piece, we've seen characters return in both the story and cover pages. However, their return is usually brief, exciting or comical, but largely overshadowed by something much larger at hand. Not with Buggy though. You see, Buggy reappeared and reappeared again and again until suddenly Buggy reappeared in Impel Down. Now here's where Buggy's recurrence gets interesting. Suddenly he's fighting alongside Luffy, right? That's what we love about Impel Down. A bunch of antagonists from the past became some of our favorites because they were helping our main character. They, for the first time in all their run-ins, are not only working together, but working together for the same goal. Now, while Buggy didn't stay at Luffy's side the entirety of the arc, he led him to the people that did. And suddenly, realize it or not, Buggy was instrumental in the overall path Luffy would take to escape from Impel Down. It's just facts. A quick boat ride later, Buggy's helping to show the world the most pivotal moments of the Paramount War. Buggy was the first YouTuber in the One Piece world, and in turn, helping to further Luffy's acclaim, as well as his own, of course. But now, while these moments may seem like a reach or overstatement to most people that just don't believe in Buggy the Clown, I think it's extremely important to understand the level of relevance Buggy has maintained throughout the entire series, compared to others who have made their returns. Now, remember earlier when I mentioned the captains of the past made the monsters of the present? Well, it's time to look at it again, because when you look at Rocks, who had not 1, not 2, but 3 of the Yonko we've had from this story emerge from his crew, as well as another Yonko you can assume inherited his will, I would argue that's pretty staggering. But then we look at the Pirate King himself, Roger, who pumped out Shanks from his crew, and now, yes, Buggy. Now, we're not going to bring these characters up just to say, oh yeah, remember Buggy's a Yonko now, but to highlight information we have now. Luffy, Big Mom, Kaido, Whitebeard, and Shanks have all displayed their ability to use advanced Conquerors coding and split the sky. All of these people have been or are considered Yonko, and then obviously the Pirate King, you know? So the top of the world's strongest. So then, based on this, we can assume Rocks had Conquerors, so in turn, Blackbeard probably does too. I know recently there have been some reports that Blackbeard won't have Conquerors. I think he probably will. But it's not just about Conquerors, it's about how hockey plays into power as a whole. Law says during the raid that he cannot properly use his fruit abilities against people with stronger hockey than him. So we can assume from that, the strength of someone's fruit is directly related to their hockey. So now why are we bringing up fruits when I just brought up Conquerors? Well, the answer is simple. One word: awakening. If we assume the strength of your fruit is tied to the strength of your hockey, then we can assume awakening means that your hockey is incredibly strong as well. Now, we've all seen how awakenings work with paramecia fruits, right? Of course, that's still shrouded in mystery because paramecia is such a large spectrum. Either way, they basically turn the world around them into whatever their fruit does. Now, if we assume that to be a Yonko, or that every Yonko has Conquerors coding or advanced Conquerors, we can also assume that they all absolutely have the potential to awaken their devil fruit. I mean, Law and Kid did, and we haven't seen Conquerors from either of them. Even though it's confirmed that Kid has Conquerors and Law is a D, we haven't seen it. Now, Kaido, we haven't seen awakening from him. Topic for another day. Now, I'm not sure how many of you guys have seen Fairy Tail, but there's a badass character who happens to look like Shanks' twin brother named Gildarts, who's overly badass and has the power to just basically obliterate anything in his way, slice it into little pieces with just a look. Now, think about Buggy's Chop Chop fruit. Yeah, you see it now, right? If we assume that because of what we know about the other Yonko and the measurement of strength of these pupils now becoming masters, we can assume that Buggy might in fact have lucked himself into one of the luckiest fruits of all time, the ability to avoid. evade and in some ways negate physical attacks, also while just chopping up everything around him, potentially in a way that make Law's room look like a cute little bubble. I may be exaggerating, but that's just how far Buggy has come. All the Yonko, they have a big crew, big fleet. Buggy has that. Notoriety, territory, Buggy has that. But above all else, immense strength, and based on what we know, we can assume if it's not there, it might be coming. So you see, I think Buggy's relevance throughout the story has been well maintained, not just because he's a funny, wacky character and he has a clown nose, but because his parts aren't quite done yet. He may still have something to offer, or we all could be completely wrong, and he finessed his way into becoming a Yonko, and none of this is relevant, and Oda's just trolling us. We don't know. But more often than not, betting on Buggy, you get your money back tenfold, right? So at this point, based on where Buggy is and how he's lucked himself into relevance, where does Buggy go from here? Does he just remain a Yonko and shrouded in mystery? We don't hear from him again? Not at all. Listen, I don't think Buggy becomes the Pirate King. I think that's a bit too far. That's Luffy's dream, and we must see that. What I think happens, though, is that Buggy does sit on the empty throne. Do you guys remember Buggy's introduction? Buggy was actually sitting on a chair, on a throne. Buggy will at some point sit on the empty throne and for that slight moment be regarded the king of the world. I guarantee it, somewhat. But I think he has a role to play. I think he's part of Shanks' plan as well, and that's why Shanks went to the Gorosei, again, theoretical, and suggested things about Buggy, which made them come to the conclusion that, hey, this Buggy guy might be legit. He got a recommendation from Shanks, and that's Shanks that doesn't want any trouble. We gotta trust Shanks, right? So Buggy's forced into prominence because Shanks needs him to carry out his plan. Because again, it's not just about Buggy. Shanks understands Buggy's influence. Buggy is a legitimate GOAT in the series right now. Again, going from an apprentice who many thought he was weak, many including myself, to now being considered an official Yonko next to Luffy, Blackbeard, and Shanks. That is incredulous, right? It is something of epic proportions that some people did see coming because we know how Oda likes to troll, but god damn it, Buggy did it. So again, I think Buggy's future revolves not only around his status of Yonko, but the people around him. He has a massive fleet. And I know I talked about Mihawk joining Buggy or Weevil as well, just increasing the strength of his crew. If Buggy has the ability to use these people and then wield them the way he would like, he is a very prominent figure and will even aid Luffy and maybe Shanks in the final war. If Shanks isn't dead due to Blackbeard, Buggy will 100% be there, and I think he'll be filming it as well. Again, Buggy at this point, maybe he's not on YouTube anymore, he's now a TikToker, but either way, he's gonna film his exploits, okay? He's gonna do whatever it takes to get some clout and maintain his position because that's what Buggy the Clown does. Guys, if you currently do not believe in Buggy, I don't know what to say to you because at this point, how can you deny him? People are saying Buggy is diluting the Yonko pool. Like, how can you include Buggy in these conversations when he's not as strong as these others? How do you know? He went against Mihawk, who fought against Shanks on equal footing, and he didn't lose, right? Mihawk couldn't touch him. Again, Buggy's fruit is something that should be respected, and Oda sometimes trolls his way to legitimacy in regards to the characters, and he did it with Buggy, and he could do more with this character. I'm gonna say this, I was like most people. Back in the day, I did not respect Buggy. I thought Buggy was a joke. I didn't know why Oda had him in the story. Slowly but surely, I recognized just how important Buggy was. Like for Buggy, again, broadcasting everything in Marineford, just how he aided Luffy to get to where he needed to get to, and Buggy using things around him. Like that's a skill. Luffy drawing people to him, Buggy using the people around him to get clout. Getting clout, well, okay, let's not equate it to the real world, but Buggy knows how to gain clout, and using his relationships or the perception of his relationships somewhat got him to where he is today because people are looking at him like, damn, look at how he's talking to Shanks and Whitebeard, and he's with Luffy. Look at how they talk about him. He's respected. Look at it. Look at the Impo Down prisoners. They were using his relationships and then based that off the clout, they started to follow him. It's like the people in post time skip when they thought Luffy was this giant and they wanted to follow him just because of clout. Clout gets you followers, and that's just what happened to Buggy. So guys, I subscribe to the formula of Captain Buggy. He is legitimate. I endorse his message, and I am super interested in what Oda has planned for him next because, agree with it or not, it was funny and it was goddamn interesting. Okay, I genuinely enjoyed Buggy trolling his way to Yonko status. I know some of the Yonko tards, people who overly love the Yonko, they've changed their names to Yonko in Twitter, Instagram. They don't want their pool to be diluted. They're like, no, we can't include Buggy. He's a troll. He's a Yonko now, right? So you're either gonna say he's weak or he's strong, because if he's weak, can he just use that title, play bass? Either way, respect Buggy, give him his credit because he did it his own way. Blackbeard did it his way, right? Got 2 devil fruits, got an enormous crew, right? Luffy did it his way, got 2 abilities, got the strongest crew possible right now, and Buggy did it his way through trolling and clout, and possibly being strong with the luckiest devil fruit possibly in the series, next to the luck fruit, obviously. It's not canon, but it exists, but not canonically, obviously. Anyway, guys, give me your thoughts. How do you feel about Buggy? The funny thing is, though, the people that love Buggy, the same people that I think love Usopp, right? It's just in the same vein. And the people that hate Buggy, they hate Usopp. It's just they hate characters like that. And I think those characters, they're a good change of pace at times. But yeah, give me your thoughts. Make sure to like the video if you did. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter at BragoDAce. Follow me on Instagram at BragoD.ace. Thank you to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Again, guys, be sure to like and subscribe. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
I start doubting me, I felt lost.